Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am so sorry for not being able to upload this video on 1st April. I know it's been more than 3 months, and unfortunately there's nothing I can do because the time has already come and gone. All that I can say is, or basically all I can offer are my sincere apologies. I was busy with my book, so any which ways, you'll be happy to know that my business communication third edition is going to be out soon. We are currently in the stages of rewriting, reworking, revising, editing, and all kinds of things on the book. And I'm happy to report it's not just going to be a new edition, it's actually going to be practically a new book. Much has changed since the last edition came out, or since the first edition came out. And there's also going to be a collaborator on this book, a professor from one of the IIMs. So do keep your eyes peeled. I will give you more information on the book as and when it comes out. Uh, of course, a lot of you comment that I do have this very bad habit of going on a tangent. So today I'm going to stick to the form itself. So now, no more meandering. Let's go and fill up the form. So today we are going to fill up Form 15G that you need to fill up in order to get your PF claims processed. It's kind of mandatory for everybody because if you don't fill up this form and you don't upload it, they tend to not process your PF claims. Please don't ask me for a reason or a logic. There isn't any, okay? All that you need to know is this form needs to be filed. So first of all, let's go to name of assessee or declarant. This is obviously you, so you're going to write your name, followed by your PAN card number. The status is going to be individual. Why? Because you are not a corporate or a firm. So you're not a body corporate. Now we come to previous year. Now, a word of caution. Previous here does not mean last year. Okay? So this is not previous in terms of purely English per se. In the world of finance, previous year basically means financial year. So PY is equal to FY. So which financial year are we in? So this financial year started on 1st April 2025 and it's going to get over next year, 31st March 2026. All right, so just write 25, 26 and you're good. In the residential status, write resident. Some people also have a tendency of writing Indian, even that's fine, although technically resident is more like it. Why? Because you're not an NRI. From 6 to 14, it's self-explanatory. Just write your address, your email ID and phone number. Now let's go to the 15th point, which is one of the most important points. And this is where most mistakes do occur. So there are two check boxes here, a yes check box and a no check box. Now, when do you check mark on the yes box and when do you check mark on the no box? Now listen carefully. If in the last 6 years, you have filed your income tax returns on the income tax portal, you are going to check mark on the yes box and you're going to write the assessment year for which you filed your returns in the B part. All right. Clarification. Your employer deducting TDS does not mean that the returns were filed. In order to file your returns, you have to fill up ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 3, ITR 4, and then you need to upload it on the income tax portal. That is what we mean when we say filing income tax. Okay. So deducting TDS or deduction of TDS by an employer does not mean here you're going to check mark on the yes box. You only check mark on the yes box if you have filed any of the ITR forms on the income tax portal. Capiche? Alright. Now when do you check mark on the no box? So obviously, if in the last 6 years you have not filed your income tax returns, you are going to check mark on the no box. You're going to write not applicable in the B part and you're going to move forward. Now let's go to the 16th part. Now 16th is basically your PF amount. Now how do you get this PF amount? You go to your passbook on the EPFO portal. You will find two amounts there. One is the employer contribution and one is the employee contribution. You add them together and you get your PF amount. All right. So you take that amount, you write it here, and that's it. Now 17th is also a point where a lot of people get confused for some reason. I mean, first, let me tell you something very simply. This is only estimated. You don't even need to be correct here. You, in fact, nobody expects you to be correct here. Why? Because we are only 3 months into the financial year. Rest 9 months are still remaining. A lot of people really don't know how much money they're going to earn in a financial year. That is why we file taxes after the financial year is over. Have you heard of anybody who files taxes while the financial year is still on? Obviously not. You file income tax after the financial year is over. All right. So it is only an estimation. You don't need to worry too much about the total income part. Now let's go to how do you calculate total income. So total income is basically the income that you're going to make in the financial year. So whatever you're going to earn from 1st April 2025 down to 31st March 2026 is your total income. Now this means your salary, if you have dividend income, your dividends from shares, if you have rental income because you have rented a house, or you have agricultural income, or whatever income, a consultancy project, anything. So basically whatever money you're going to earn, you're going to write here. And do not forget to add the PF amount that you have mentioned in column number 16. Why? Because you're going to get your PF amount in this financial year only. So you have to take that amount and add it to your total income. Now, what in case you have no job? You are not earning anything. Then in that case, you just have to write the PF amount here, and that's it. So column 16 and 17 in that case will be the same, and it's perfectly fine. Okay? I hope there's no confusion. Or if there are confusions, I reply, or at least I attempt to reply, sometimes belatedly also, but I replied to every single question or query that I get. So please feel free to drop a comment or a question or a clarification that you need in the comment section, and I will get back to you. So now going to the 18th part. Whatever other Form 15Gs that you have submitted, either to a bank in order to ensure that no TDS is deducted, or maybe to a company because you wanted to save TDS on dividend incomes, you need to mention those things here. And for aggregate amount, just mention whatever is the aggregate amount. All right. Now let's go to the 19th part. You're going to put serial number 1. You're going to write the PF number or the UAN number, or you can write both. Really doesn't make a difference. Write one of them, write both of them, all are fine. PF withdrawal. This section will be 192 bracket A. Don't try and understand this section. It is what it is. You just copy it down. Amount of income. This will be your column 16 amount, which is your PF amount. You're going to put one signature underneath the form. And with that, we come to the declaration or the verification part. So first of all, write your name. Again, block letters or capital letters. So previous year is ending on when? So here remember, previous year I told you is financial year. So this financial year is ending next year on 31st March 2026. And the assessment year for this financial year will be 2026-27. Similarly, here also we are going to write 31st March 2026, and assessment year will be 2026-27. One more signature. Mention the place and the date, and that's it. You don't have to fill part 2 because that is for office. So you only need to fill the part 1 of the form. And I will do another thing for you. I am going to give you a form where the previous year and these particular dates are filled in. So the declaration and all are, the financial year, the assessment year and all of that will be filled in. So you do not get any confusions in terms of how to fill this. Or you don't ask me why does it say 2026, 27, maybe you mean 25, 26. No, it is supposed to be 2026, 27 because assessment year comes after the financial year. So if you're sitting in 2025-26 financial year, the assessment year can only be after that. So the assessment year will always be 26-27. So I hope that particular part is correct. Uh, that particular part is not correct. It's easily to understand. Uh, in any case, the form you can download from the description box that will have all these details filled in. So you do not need to worry about those details. Apart from that, if you have any questions, any queries, please feel free to drop in the comment box. And thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your support. I'm not going to go on another tangent. So that's it from me. I'm signing off for today. And once again, have a great day ahead.